They've been waiting for it for a while now. About 100 anglers, veterans, rookies, legends, and hopefuls, ready to start the 2013 Bassmaster Elite Series in Orange, Texas, on the Sabine River system. Turns out some other folks in this part of the country are ready too. 4 days of record turnouts for the Bassmaster Elite Series.
Todd Faircloth has taken the lead.
Orange, Texas, throwing one of the biggest parties ever seen. And it's all about bass fishing at the highest level.
Yeah!
Yeah! What a send-off for these competitors who will make their way from the Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes during the course of this season.
I guarantee you I struck first blood.
But it all starts right here at this inspiring place, Orange, Texas, at the Sabine River Challenge.
Boom. Woo! Folks, that's a game changer right there, boy.
Number 4!
It's the Bassmaster Elite Series, Sabine River Challenge, presented by Stark Cultural Venues.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How about this?
We want to show you how you start the season out right. This is it right here. Welcome to Orange, Texas, the start of the 2013 Bassmaster Elite Series. I'm Tommy Sanders here with Mark Zona. How about this place,
Tommy?
the turnout in Orange?
Folks, lift it up one more time for Orange, Texas. Are you kidding me? And Tommy Sanders, here is the best way to describe what is going on in this event. Predominantly every single Bassmaster Elite Series tournament, the guys just need to focus on catching bass, put them in the live well. This is a different monster here. Long runs, hazardous runs, gas consumption, and oh, by the way, you still have to catch them. Whoever's going to walk away with this one, you're going to earn it. We will not forget this event.
I know you're going to break it all down for us a little bit later on as we proceed through this segment here. But there are places that are not equal to other places. It's a huge place, but you got to find what, basically in general terms?
Well, really, we're going to break down the kind of water these guys are fishing, but this place, here's the best way to describe it. There's not bass everywhere, and somewhere in this 1 hour show, some of our anglers have found the same population of fish.
It's a fascinating place, the Sabine River system. We're going to take you there. First time ever for these Bassmasters to come to Orange, Texas, the extreme southeast corner of Texas, for the Sabine River Challenge. Our Yamaha lay of the lake. Take a look at this. Acres, square mile after square mile of canals, of cutoff lakes, of little chutes, and big sloughs, places to fish. It all looks great. But again, only one place is going to be special, and this is a special spot. We talked about people who have figured out the puzzle here, who broke through on day number 1. Definitely that guy was Dean Rojas. 15 pounds and 10 ounces. He took a commanding lead on the first day.
But on day 2, from Texas, give it up, folks, Todd Faircloth with a bag. 16 pounds and 8 ounces, giving a total 26 pounds, 15 ounces.
All right, a big story here, and one that everyone's following and everyone's pulling for. Dennis Tietje had a terrible day number 1. 2 pounds of fish. He was out of it, absolutely out of it because of mechanical troubles. He came back and did something miraculous.
You nailed it. Really out of this tournament. Mechanical issues on day 1. But with the help of this magic tree, Dennis Tietje would get back in the game.
You know, the first day, unfortunately, I had a mechanical issue and I had to switch boats. But in doing that, it took a while to get me a boat. Now we talking, boys. Bam! Yeah. Boom! Number 2. That's what we're looking for right there. I am calm. I am trying to be as patient as I can. Woo! Bam! You know when you're living right, when you catch 3 out of 1 tree. Boom. Yes.
You talk about an inspirational way to start your season right there. Dennis Tietje showing us how to do it.
And we did. We thought after day one, catching one bass, breaking down, we thought Dennis Tietje was out of this game. One of the most amazing comebacks we've ever seen on the Bassmaster Elite Series.
And everybody wanted to ask him. I mean, do you even think about what might have been, how it would have been if you were able to fish this spot on day number one? And Dennis says, no, you can't think about that. You got to plow forward, and that's exactly what he's done. Well, how can you not pull for this guy, the rice and crawfish farmer from Roanoke, Louisiana, turned professional bass angler, Dennis Tietje? What a great story. Now, Dean Rojas, he's certainly been the story heading into the fourth and final day. Had the lead on day number one. He lost the lead on day number two, got it back on day three.
Dean Rojas fishing right out of the town of Sulphur. Dean Rojas said the number one key in this event, just catch 5 keepers a day.
Get in here, yes. Ha! I knew it. Missed him the first time. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. All right, put him on the big side. Yes. All right. Right. Man, I just need to stay on this stretch right here. This is where all the big ones are at. I just need to go back and forth, back and forth. All my good quality fish will come on this stretch.
Well, you heard Dean Rojas say it, this small place, a special place where all the big ones are at, and he has proved it for 3 straight days. This is the day 3 weigh-in, and Dean Rojas with 11 pounds and 14 ounces to take that lead back from Texan Todd Faircloth. So we have really got a great one going on here with 3 days under our belt.
Well, really, you look at the guys in contention here. The local Dennis Tietje, but at the top, you look at Todd Faircloth, Dean Rojas, 2 of the best shallow water anglers in the history of the Elite Series. The perfect game plan is going to win this one.
All right,
Tommy Sanders.
Yes, sir.
You know what?
What?
You know what I'm going to do? We're going to do something different. We're going to kick it to break. We're going to kick it to championship round.
Oh, okay.
Tell everybody, don't go anywhere. Championship round coming up next.
Don't go anywhere. Championship round coming up next.
Give it up,
Nailed
man.
it. He nailed it.
Nailed it.
Be right back.
Well, honestly, I think it would take a miracle for me to win. I'm going to be about 6 or 7 pounds back from the lead, but that's one bite, and that's all you can ask for on championship day because anything can happen.
I'm leading the tournament, but I'm going to cut you off anyways, even though I'm 8 pounds behind you. So it's terrible.
The Bassmaster Elite Series Sabine River Challenge, presented by Stark Cultural Venues, is brought to you by Triton Boats, Toyota, and by NITRO.
It is dawn of this day that will be the deciding day, championship day at the Sabine River Challenge, presented by Stark Cultural Venues here in Orange, Texas. First stop of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series. The Skeeter boats, rules of the game. We started with just about 100 anglers. We cut the field in half after 2 days, and today, the final day, only 12 of them are left. 12 will vie for the championship, and they can fish Mark Zona just about anywhere they want to in this vast place.
Really anywhere, except they cannot go into the Gulf, but they can go through the entire maze towards New Orleans, towards Houston. The one word that comes to mind, though, is commit. It's so spread out. When you make that decision, you are married to it.
Anglers anglers burning a lot of gas during the course of this week. Most of them anyway. There are a few exceptions. We're going to go to one of those right now. Third place, Monroe, fishing very close to the ramp.
7-minute run. You know, I practice all over the place. I actually ran, 100 miles east of here to some water. But the thing is you need it all day. And when you run a 200-mile round trip, it's kind of like you take away from your fishing time. And on a place that it's a little bit tougher to catch limits, you need to maximize your fishing time. So today I pretty much decided to maximize my fishing time. That's what I've done all week. So we're gonna stop this little bayou. The tide's out right now. See how these cypress trees are where there's holes underneath? That's where those fish are bedding right now. And when we come back, the tide will actually be higher than that. So they'll actually cover those roots and they'll cover over the tops of where the fish are actually spawning at, and so that's where the flipping comes in. Spinnerbait, they're sitting off right now, and it's like having a bluegill swim by and they'll choke down on it. You can actually see how it's got mud bank there, and it's always good, fishing at low tide because they don't have a lot of stuff to hang out on. If they see something in the water, you can pretty much throw by it, and most likely there's going to be a fish there. So you'll see me make several casts to a spot where I potentially think that there's a fish going to be.
Monroe really breaking it down early on Championship Sunday. And Tommy, you look at our launch here in Orange, Texas. Here's how far a lot of the anglers are going. You see Todd Faircloth going about 45 minutes, 41 miles total. Terry Scroggins making a long run, 55 miles. And Dean Rojas, we will really keep our eye on him today, over 40 miles. But Monroe said, maximize my fishing time. He said the other key to this area, get away from the salt water. Wherever that salt water intrudes, those bass do not want to live.
Got it. Oh, good one. Yes! I guarantee you I struck first blood.
Wow.
Ish is probably right about that. Ish, of course, the only one of our 12 fishing this close to the ramp. Take a look at Dean Rojas, still running. He's going almost all the way to Lake Charles. He's going to Sulphur, Louisiana.
He is, but he's on a monster population of bass. At least he has been so far this week. You look at that bass right there, just barely a keeper. But Tommy Sanders, as tough as it's been all week, that size bass has been critical to make it to this final round.
Bling, bling.
So Monroe starts his day in third place, and with the first fish of the day cuts into the deficit he has on Dean Rojas. He started about 7 pounds back. Monroe won the first Bassmaster Elite Series event here in the state of Texas. Todd Faircloth, another angler who owns a Bassmaster Elite Series win here in the state of Texas. Both of them have won at Lake Amistad, a different looking place from the Sabine River Delta.
Got a bayou back behind us. It's got a lot of grass in it. It's big. A lot of water. It's kind of a shallow bay off of it. It's the only clean water in this general area here, and I think it's got a lot of these fish pulled back in here. It's got a mixture of milfoil, hydrilla, all types of grass, some pads mixed in. These fish are just roaming around out here on this big flat bay back here. Some of them are spawning, some of them aren't. But you don't really know where you're going to get a bite at. It's just kind of random. You just kind of have to fish around. Oh, that's a good one. There we go. Yes, sir. That's the one. That's a good one there, guys.
A different looking area for Todd Faircloth. He said this special spot has spawning flats, grass, a lot of food, and the number one key, Tommy Sanders, no company.
That is the Big Hill Bayou area. That's to the southwest of Orange, Texas, down there past Port Arthur. Just about time for our anglers who are heading up to Sulphur, Louisiana, on the outskirts of Lake Charles, and this place is called Bayou Dend. It sort of flows its way through a mixed industrial and residential area, and I'm going to preface this by saying there's been some heavy-duty gamesmanship going on in this place over the last 3 days.
Yes, there has been, Tommy, and really, just like in NASCAR, whether it's on the track or out on the water here, there are unwritten rules, and when you get to the final day of an event, and you're 9 pounds back, you're down in 7th place like Alton Jones, we really mostly see anglers, they'll give room to the leader, and so far this morning, that is not the case.
Worthless garbage. No integrity, no sportsmanship.
You should know that this area of Bayou Din, the stretch that they are fishing, is not big, maybe a quarter-mile long.
At most. And the other thing, whenever we've seen this happen before, by the end of competition day, it does not end up good for either anglers.
Cut right in front of me. How about this? Take a look. Pure garbage.
And there is not a rule against this, but Dean Rojas, obviously upset on this final morning, somehow has to keep the wheels on the bus and get back to work.
You know, it's sad. He was never there the whole time, and the stretch that I fished yesterday, he never fished and he jumped on it this morning. He should be ashamed of himself. He's no professional. He ain't nothing. He's garbage. No integrity as a man, nothing. Enough about him. Let's catch some fish today, man. Damn it. Golly. Today my job is to stay focused and catch 5 bass. That is #1 priority for me. To stay focused, every pitch, every cast, focus 100%, and hopefully we'll catch 5 good ones and close this thing out.
Something tells me we're going to catch a lot of drama here in Bayou Din during the course of this final day.
And in a tournament where every keeper counts, not a good start for Dean Rojas.
Final day, championship day at the first event of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series, the Sabine River Challenge here in extreme southeast Texas. Orange, Texas is our host city.
Oh.
And look at our Evan Williams Bourbon shot of the day. It's last year's Rookie of the Year, Brandon Card, getting through that culvert.
Exactly, and that would totally freak me out, Sanders. But as you said, it reminds you of the scene in the toilet of Train Spotting, the movie
What?
Train Spotting.
What?
I have no idea
Did I
what
say
I'm
that?
talking about right there. Tommy Sanders, this is not the only Evan
That's
Williams
right.
shot of the day.
Right.
Get ready for this. Michael Iaconelli with a bad beat on day number 2.
That is pretty rough looking. Haven't seen the official accident report on that, but you know they've been hit with a series of hurricanes through the past decade down here. Underneath those canals, all sorts of down trees, lots of hazards here.
The word is Iaconelli and his marshal would get back onto the water safely, but Tommy Sanders, now let's run up the Calcasieu River with Terry Scroggins. Terry Scroggins has been fishing, well, a 15-mile stretch up here, and throughout this event, this area right here has had tons of pressure.
Terry Scroggins of Palatka, Florida, making one of the longer runs way north and east of Orange, Texas here. Of course, Terry Scroggins put himself in this top 12 with a great effort on day number 2, had the Carhartt. Big bass of the tournament, 6 pounds and 1 ounce. That was huge for him.
And I want you to look at this water that Scroggins is fishing. 1 inch of visibility, complete mud. But the thing about this area, Scroggins said to us, getting away from that salt water. And the other thing, he said he is not catching quantity, but almost every time he sets the hook, absolute quality.
That's like great. Come here. Yes, sir. Whew.
Yes.
Finally.
That was worth the wait, Terry.
I mean, he ate it. Look at that. Golly. 4 more of them and we're gonna be good. Oh my goodness, he choked it. Golly. Yeah, 4.5.
That is a big one. That is a meaningful bass in the Sabine River system, to be sure. Big ones are hard to come by. Meanwhile, Back in Bayou Den, Sulphur, Louisiana, we see our 3 anglers who are competing in this very small, confined area, really only about a quarter mile or less of water, including the guy who started the day with the lead, Dean Rojas.
Exactly, and really what this is, it's a perfect environment. These fish, number one, they can't leave. If they leave, they go into salt water, they die. And if they get near that salt water, well, they're not the alpha predator. Look at Kriet down here at the bottom. It has had an enormous population of keeper bass, but not only that, Tommy Sanders, look at Alton Jones right there with a fine redfish.
Oh, yeah.
Knock the side off of that thing, right?
Alton Jones, of course, Dean Rojas doing a little button heads there as far as this space and who it belongs to, and that's going to be an issue probably that will be talked about after this tournament is done. Back over to Dean Rojas with his crankbait.
Really, these guys are struggling in here. Every single day of this event, you've seen flurries of keepers early. So far today, that has not been the case in Bayou Den.
It's weird. I haven't felt like this all week, you know? Well, I know what I need to do, and that's, you know, catch some fish. It's just hard to put this thing down because I know what'll happen quickly. This rise in water, I think it's, you know, it's going to get them active. It did yesterday. We're getting that time of day. It's getting warm. Sun's trying to pop through. Just the drive. The drive is real strong. The drive to win. The drive to reach my goals. Drive to be the best I can be.
Dean Rojas working this little spot. Not pristine water by any means, but productive.
And over his shoulder, Alton Jones putting a keeper in the boat. Dean Rojas still stuck on 0. You have to start asking yourself how many keepers are left.
Just all my bites have come, big bites have come on this, you know. That's why I've been able to beat those guys who are in here. You know, they're pitching and flipping and stuff, but the quality fish I've been catching have been on the square bill. So, and you know, every time I put it down and I start flipping and stuff, you know, and I pick it back up again, I catch a big one, I catch a good one.
Depth, food, and spawning habitat. Really the perfect environment, but here on day number 4, not a lot of keeper bites so far.
Dean Rojas and Bayou Den will go back southwest to Big Hill Bayou. Todd Faircloth, who started this day 4 pounds behind Dean Rojas. Now we have him unofficially either neck or maybe a few ounces ahead of Dean Rojas. Todd Faircloth, who notched a win last year on the Bassmaster Elite Series.
You look out through here, you know, and it just looks like, man, it's just just flat. There ain't a whole lot to it, and it is flat. I mean, there's not a whole lot of depth change out here, but there is like grass transitions and stuff, and I've been catching most of my fish wherever I get. Getting a bow. That's a good one there, guys. Whew. Working on it, baby. Need a measure, yeah. It's number 3, guys. Number 3. Whew. Whew. I catch 2 more like that. I ain't saying I'm gonna win, but I'll have a shot anyway. That's all you can ask for. Good one. Oh, that's a good one. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Woo!
Woo! Folks, that's a game changer right there, boy. Look at that one. Woo! Son.
Yes, sir.
Whew.
Oh, man. It's got me fired up, folks. Whew. Yes, sir. Whew. I guess the old adrenaline flowing right there, folks. That's a tree shaker. If I can throw my worm on here now, I'm shaking so bad.
Todd Faircloth, not usually that demonstrative, but he knows the enormity of what he's done here. He's gone from 4 pounds back to a substantial lead over Dean Rojas. He's celebrating. Everyone here in the Sabine River system is celebrating bass fishing.
The Bassmaster Elite Series Sabine River Challenge, presented by Stark Cultural Venues, is brought to you by Abu Garcia, Evan Williams Bourbon, and by Bass Pro Shops.
The Sabine River Challenge final day coverage continues. This tournament presented by Stark Cultural Venues, kind of a major force here in the Orange, Texas area. A lot of history here, including the historical Stark House. So much architectural splendor, lots of other attractions as well, a natural gardens, a very celebrated theater, and a museum of art, the Stark Museum of Art. So special thanks to the folks at Stark Cultural Venues for letting the world know about this place that the Bassmasters have really never been before. Yeah, Southeast Texas, the Sabine River system. We look at our leaderboard. Dean Rojas started the day with the lead, but has been overtaken in a big way by Todd Faircloth.
Definitely been a tough event. Right now, having a tough final day. Going to get on the water right now with your day 3 leader, Dean Rojas.
Dean Rojas, appreciate you spending a little time with us. Important day. Can you start by telling us, conditions-wise, water and otherwise, what has changed from the first 3 days when this place has been so good to you?
Well, I don't know if anything's changed. It's just we have some cloud cover right now. The water temperature is getting warmer and warmer every day. I thought it would turn them on. You know, it could still turn them on. I just need to stay focused and keep my head down.
Dean, looking at your morning so far compared to the first 3 days of competition, you have to ask, has the pressure in that area right now, do you think it's taken its toll?
I think it has. Yeah, it has done a little bit of it. You know, it's hard to. I can't fish the way I want to because of you know, Alton coming in here and fishing wherever I'm at. So it's making it a little more challenging for me. But I'm just trying to stay focused. Every cast, every pitch, and getting a bite.
The main thing that's gone on every day in there, what happens with the tide in the last hour that ignites those fish? And do we have that similar situation going to happen today? Will that happen this afternoon?
Well, it's shaping up like that. Hopefully they'll turn on here shortly and we'll make a comeback.
Dean, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to work. From second place, Dean Rojas, we go now to Ish Monroe. Grew up in the Bay Area, Sacramento River Delta. This is kind of a Delta look to this place.
Definitely is, and Ish Monroe said throughout this event, I'm in the perfect environment. He said, when I get in here, I need to bunker down and really watch the tide.
The only time that they don't bite in here is when the tide doesn't move. And I probably need to flip until it starts moving. Because every day I've been actually catching the incoming tide, and tide changes about an hour every single day, and so now I've caught it on dead low and it's not moving yet, so the fish aren't really actively feeding. They feed when the tide's coming in and moving because it brings the bait right to their house, their wheelhouse, as Z would say. The wheelhouse. Got it. Or you just catch them on a frog like that. How's that for you boys and girls? It's just Fat Frog in the house. Look at that, look at that. Papa Midnight.
Oh yeah, Papa Midnight is exactly right. Ish in Cow Bayou has not had one kicker bite all week. Now, over to Todd Faircloth, who has literally had one of the most incredible mornings we've seen the entire event.
Todd, you told us yesterday your job, number one, put 5 keepers in the boat. How much relief is it now to have that part of your day knocked out?
Man, it feels awesome because you know, yesterday at this time I didn't have a keeper, so I'm way ahead of schedule. I've actually caught 3 really quality fish this morning so far. I've got 2 that I'd like to see I'll be able to cull throughout the course of the day, but I've got a lot of time left here, and the fish seem to be biting pretty good today, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Todd, if you can, break down how you've caught them really all week long.
I've been fishing a Strike King swimming caffeine shad, and I've been swimming it through this grass and stuff, and it's just a real flat bay here, and I've been trying to fish, you know, where it transitions from grass to pads, and where you have a mixture of that stuff together.
Todd, we appreciate your time. Todd Faircloth, except for a slow day 3, this place has been awesome for him.
Right now, let's go under the water with our advanced view presented by Humminbird. The one word he said was where that grass transition. He's throwing a Strike King swimming caffeine shad. You look right here, you see all that vegetation, whether it was coontail or milfoil, and then it met lily pads. That's where he caught these fish. And really, if you look at all of this footage, wherever Todd Faircloth set the hook on one, he would usually back it up with another bite.
There he is. I might be a keeper. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Todd Faircloth with a commanding lead on the final day, this first event of the season for the Bassmaster Elite Series. More to come. Next week on the Bassmaster Elite Series, we're in Zapata, Texas. Lake Falcon, #1. The top 100 bass lakes. A new survey coming out on Bassmaster.com. Bassmaster Magazine, check that out. Meanwhile, though, we're loving it in Orange, Texas. So much fun, so much excitement in the air as we start the Bassmaster Elite Series 2013 here in Orange, Texas in the Sabine River system in Mark Zona. These guys, it's been a tough tournament. Good limits have been hard to find. Big fish have been hard to find. That doesn't mean a thing. It's been a great tournament.
But really, look at Monroe. He's got a limit every single day. Over to a legend of the Bassmaster Elite Series, Mark Davis, making the final day cut. But he has been plagued by small ones all morning.
Jeff Kriet, one of those 3 anglers there in Bayou Den, has been working a very small piece of water with great results all week long. A little bit slower, he finds it, on this final day of competition. How about Brandon Card? Made himself a bunch of points last year, got the Rookie of the Year award, has got a similar start going this year.
Where is he going?
Stay in the boat, Brandon Card. This was earlier in the week. He's got another great start to 2013. Watch this.
Woo! Come and get you some of that! That is how you go in after him right there, boy. Did you see how long I was under the water?
Sorry about that, Tommy Sanders, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to give Brandon Card the fish catch of the week on the Sabine River.
That is a nice one. That's one of the reasons he's in our top 12 today.
Dude, they actually caught that on camera. That is cool.
Brandon Card's Marshall's right. That is cool.
That is cool. That's exactly right. Brandon Card there, last year's Rookie of the Year. Again, starting great this year. Over to Terry Scroggins. We saw him earlier in the day making a fairly long run and getting some good results, some good feedback there.
Well, Scroggins fishing really chocolate milk up in the Calcasieu River. And if you look at his weight every day, if Terry Scroggins would have put a limit together each day of this event, more than likely he would have blown this tournament away. The biggest problem he's had is just catching 5.
There we go. Woo! All right, 3 more to go. Golly.
Decent fish, though.
Yeah, when you do catch one, it's a good one.
True gunch pile fish right there. Came out of 2 inches of water.
2 fish total for Terry Scroggins today, but 2 good ones. Moves him from 4th to 3rd place. But meanwhile, the man in charge is definitely this man. Todd Faircloth notched a win on the upper Mississippi River during last year's season. What a versatile angler he is, and what a day he's having on this final day.
Got about a little less than an hour left. I'm just gonna take my time real slow up through here. Confidence is a big deal in fishing. Not many people realize how much of it a head game it is. I mean, all these guys can catch fish, but it's the decisions and the process and how you go about dealing with all that is a big factor in your success.
Better one, I think.
Yeah, that one will help.
Really want you to look at Todd Faircloth's history with the Bassmaster Elite Series. Wins on Amistad with a swim bait, 40 feet of water drop shotting on Table Rock, throwing a frog up on the Mississippi River, and now you really look at the Sabine River where it looks in the background like he's found an area from Lake Okeechobee. Todd Faircloth has become one of the most versatile anglers we've ever seen on the Elite Series. Now, over to Dean Rojas with a miserable day.
Boy, it's been a grind all day today. Been a grind. But they're never easy. Just gotta stay focused. Keep my head down, keep working hard. Bites will come.
Dean Rojas in this tiny, unlikely place, Bayou Dim, that has been so good to him for 3 days.
Really, if you look at Kriet, Alton Jones in the same area, they really just haven't caught them at all today. Dean still with 0.
Oh God, it's a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. Big one. Big one. Come on, baby. Yeah! 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 Yes! 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 Oh God, you can't believe it, how good that feels. Man, there's some big ones in here. God, I just need to get some more. I know I'm throwing the right bait. I know I'm doing the right thing. You catch fish like that, you know, it just makes it all right. It feels right.
Dean Rojas of Arizona, who started this final day with a 4-pound lead, now is in a position where, well, he needs nothing short of a miracle in short order in order to get the thing done by weigh-in time. The weigh-in is coming up when we return.
The Bassmaster Elite Series Sabine River Challenge, presented by Stark Cultural Venues, is brought to you by Humminbird, Mercury, Minn Kota, and by Yamaha.
Only 3 left, but these are 3 big, big sticks. Let's bring through the next one. He is the BBS, the Big Bass Specialist. Get loud for Ish Monroe. From Jasper, Texas, give me a little love for Todd Faircloth. Faircloth finds bass squatch on Championship Sunday. He's got 5 fish looking for 6 pounds, 5 ounces. 14 pounds, 9 ounces. Jasper, Texas's Todd Faircloth has taken the lead with 1 angler left to go. You have a big, big hurdle in front of you. He led on day number 1. Day 2, Faircloth took it. Day 3, Dean Rojas said, give it back, it's mine. Let's see how it ends up. A 4-time Bassmaster winner. From Lake Havasu City, Arizona, Dean the Machine Rojas! Rojas comes in with a hydrilla gorilla. Needs 11-1. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. Todd Faircloth has done it. Faircloth has done it. Officially a 4-time Bassmaster Elite Series champion. Jasper, Texas's Todd Faircloth has come home and got it done.
Sabine River Challenge champion is Texas' own Todd Faircloth. Todd Faircloth coming into his own with his 4th Bassmaster victory. Also, Todd this week racks up the Berkeley Big Bag of the tournament, 16 pounds and 8 ounces. He did that on day number 2. Also, top points in the all-important Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year race, 100 points for Todd Faircloth. All right, Texas, give it up for one of the best to ever come out of Texas,
yes,
Todd Faircloth. In Orange, Texas, Todd, great job. 2 of your now 4 wins with the Bassmaster Elite Series, 2 of them from the state of Texas. Starting to add up. 4 sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, absolutely. And, I think this is the sweetest one of them all because I got to win it right here in front of family and friends. And, it's been great all week. And, I've never, in 13 years of doing this all across the country, I've never seen a crowd as big as we had here this week. I want to thank you guys for that.
Todd, if you can, had an area all to yourself that definitely proved critical throughout the entire week. Break down your technique.
Yeah, I was throwing a Strike King swimming caffeine shad. I caught pretty much all my fish on that. I did catch a few key fish on a Strike King 5-inch Ocho. Whenever they missed the swimming caffeine shad, I throw the Ocho back in there, and I caught some key fish doing that.
If you closed your eyes right now, look under the water. What did it look like that those fish came off of?
Well, it was a big, shallow, flat bay, pretty much, and leading up to that, there's some deeper water out there, a lot of grass, but I think all those fish were pushed back there in that cleaner water. It was the only clean water in that whole entire area, and I think, whenever you're fishing for a bass, you need to be around clean water, and I think that's the main thing.
Hundreds of miles of water here, hundreds of miles. You bunkered in to a couple 100-yard stretch. Really just talk about when you found that area.
Well, I came over here before off limits, and I rode around 4 or 5 days. And in my opinion, when I looked at everything, this was the most fertile looking water on the entire system that I saw. Whenever I see big grass beds, lily pads, and stuff like that, and some clean water,
wheelhouse,
I get excited.
Todd, just a great job all week long. Fantastic work. You're qualified for the Classic now, and you got the top points for Angler of the Year. That's something you've come close to many times. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. You got the best start a man could possibly have. Congratulations to you, Todd, and Orange, Texas, and all Texas, and everyone who loves bass fishing. Give it up for the champion of the Sabine River Challenge, Todd Faircloth.
Woo! Folks, that's a game changer right there, boy. Look at that one.
Woo! From Jasper, Texas, give me a little love for Todd Faircloth. 14 pounds, 9 ounces. Jasper, Texas's Todd Faircloth has taken the lead with 1 angler left to go. 14 pounds, 6 ounces. Todd Faircloth has got it. Faircloth